Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into Ryan Holiday's incredible book, Ego is the Enemy. And what makes it so powerful is that it's not just theory. It's a book the author basically had to write after his own painful journey through aspiration, wild success, and then, humbling failure.
So let's just start with a really important question for you. Think about your biggest goals right now. What's the main thing standing in your way? Is it other people, not enough money or time, or maybe just some bad luck?
Well, according to this book, the real enemy isn't any of those things out there. It's not your boss, it's not the market. The biggest, most dangerous opponent you will ever face, well, it's already inside you. It's your ego.
Okay, so if we're going to fight this thing, we've got to know what it is, right? What exactly are we talking about when we say ego?
Now, just to be clear, we're not talking about the Freudian psychological ego here. Holiday is zeroing in on something very specific, an unhealthy, inflated belief in our own importance. It's that arrogant, self-centered ambition, that voice inside that's obsessed with being seen as special. Honestly, it's kind of like the petulant child that lives inside all of us.
And this is a hugely important distinction to make. This book is not anti-confidence. We need confidence. That's about knowing you're capable, and it's grounded in reality. Ego, on the other hand, is its toxic cousin. It's a sense of superiority, and it's usually delusional. Confidence is open to learning. Ego is completely closed off to feedback because it thinks it already knows everything.
And that's where the danger is. It's that subtle tipping point where a perfectly good strength just curdles and turns into a massive weakness. It's that moment our self-belief stops being a tool and starts warping how we see the world.
And here's the thing. This battle against ego isn't just a one-and-done kind of deal. The book argues it's a war we have to fight constantly, across 3 totally distinct stages of our lives and careers.
All right, first up, the stage of aspiration. This is when we're just getting started. We're hungry, we're ambitious, and we're trying to make a name for ourselves.
Right from the very beginning, ego forces a choice on us. Is our main goal to be somebody, to look important, to get the title, to be famous, or is our goal to actually do something? To build a company, to create a piece of art, to truly master a skill? See, ego wants all the credit without any of the work. It makes us talk about the amazing book we're going to write instead of actually sitting down and writing it. It makes us crave recognition so badly that we refuse to be a student because we're terrified of looking like we don't already have it all figured out.
Okay, so let's move on to the second stage. And you could argue this one is the most dangerous of all. Because after all that hard work, what happens when you actually succeed? This is where ego really digs in. We start telling ourselves a story, a myth about our own genius. And in that story, we conveniently edit out all the lucky breaks, all the people who helped us, all the dumb mistakes we made. Suddenly, we're the solo hero of our own epic movie.
And this quote from the artist Marina Abramovich just says it all. The absolute core of the danger is right here. The second we start believing our own hype, the second we think, I've made it, I'm done learning, that is the exact moment our creativity and our growth just die.
When we're on top, ego is what isolates us. It makes us feel entitled and makes us paranoid that other people are out to get what's ours. You see this with historical figures like Howard Hughes, whose success bred a paranoia so deep it completely destroyed him. We stop listening, we stop being a student, and we become rigid, the exact opposite of the humble, adaptable person who got us there in the first place.
And that brings us to the third battleground, one that is absolutely inevitable for every single one of us: failure. This is when you hit that wall, you get knocked down, or maybe you lose everything. Now, when we have a setback, a healthy perspective sees it as an event, something that happened. But ego makes it personal. It whispers in your ear that you didn't just fail, you are a failure. And that right there transforms a temporary problem into a soul-crushing identity crisis.
So this brings us to a massive choice. After we fall, is this going to be dead time? Time where we just complain and blame everyone else and wallow in self-pity? Or are we going to make it a live time? A chance to learn, to reflect, and to come back even stronger. You can bet which one your ego is pushing you toward.
So what's the game plan? How do we actually fight this enemy? The book makes it really clear this isn't about one big, heroic victory. It's about a constant daily practice of choosing a better, more humble path.
I just love this metaphor. Imagine our nature, our ego, is like a piece of wood that's naturally warped. It just bends that way. To make it straight, you can't just bend it once. You have to constantly, every single day, apply pressure in the opposite direction, away from arrogance and towards humility and reality.
And this all boils down to the book's central, kind of paradoxical takeaway. The path to doing amazing things isn't to think more of yourself. It's to think of yourself less. When you get less invested in the story of how special you are, you free up all that mental energy to actually do the special work.
And in the end, that's the real challenge, isn't it? Your ego is always there, trying to write your story, casting you as the unrecognized genius, the victim, the hero. The real work is to take the pen back from it and write a truer, a more humble, and ultimately, a much more powerful story for yourself.